Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about these terrible demonstrations that are getting rather crazy across the United States of America. Specifically, today we're talking about St. Louis, Missouri. There was recently a BLM demonstration there that was full of their usual agitators who are out running amok, causing trouble, and influencing and also intimidating a lot of local people. Now, this didn't turn out too well for them because what ended up happening was they entered a gated community and started seeming to kind of encroach and possibly rush in some of the very nice big mansions and houses there. Now, what happened next was rather unexpected, but rather entertaining as we saw one couple come out of their house with weapons, prepared to defend their house. This was really kind of a very energetic moment, and a lot of people got excited for them because not only was this couple seemingly badass, but they also seemed like pretty normal people who had gotten fed up with this whole crazy protesting thing and them going around bashing up cities and tearing down places. So, with that said, the problem comes when the media covered the story and people started sharing pictures of the couple with their weapons, saying that they were the ones that had a problem. Of course, they're going to turn on these people. They're a white couple, they're affluent, they're from St. Louis, and they're exercising their Second Amendment right. So the media tried to turn on them and act like they were attacking these peaceful protesters when really we have evidence and footage and quotes and all kinds of videos showing they were the ones in the wrong. They entered a private community. They crossed a private entrance. They went into a gate and all this stuff. So they were definitely not supposed to be there. And definitely this family and this couple had the very smart idea to protect themselves, especially considering all the chaos and the destruction that these kinds of groups have already caused. Now, we're going to get into more of this story soon. We're going to go over the pictures, the articles, the biased ones, and then defend them and all that fun stuff. We're going to talk about this St. Louis couple and even show you some pictures of their house, which is actually a really big, really fancy old school mansion that looks really cool. So we're going to get to all that soon. But first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. With all this talk about diseases and other viruses spreading around and people required to wear face masks all over the place, why not get yourself a very professional one from Freedom Masks today? And if you order from NoBS, you can save up to 60% on this very comfortable, very stylish new mask that also has washable filters. Most importantly, it'll keep you safe. It'll protect you from contaminants. It stays safe from polluted air and environmental pathogens and all that stuff. So it's a good deal and only available to the audience today. So I'm very excited to offer it to you. You can get 60% off if you order just by clicking the link below this video. Make sure you check out that exclusive link, check it out, support the show, and get yourself a Freedom Mask today. Great, now that that's out of the way, let's get to this St. Louis couple who's become quite the meme this weekend. Here's a picture and an article from the Daily Mirror. They're very biased against them, and they say, "Chilling moment, white couple pull guns on peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters." Now, already you could see the race baiting and the obvious kind of biasness there. I mean, why do they have to point out that they're a white couple at all? They're just a couple defending themselves. And yeah, this lady looks a little mean in this picture, but you got to remember, these guys protesting are not peaceful. These people are coming in to private communities. They're crossing gates and borders that they shouldn't be, and they're just gonna cause trouble. We've seen them do it time and time again. This is proven. This isn't like some kind of new thing, like we're not giving them a chance or something. Like, we've seen them do it over and over. And then here Styx responds saying they had broken a gate and were explicitly on private property. People have an inalienable right to defend their property in the US, something the British apparently never fully understand nor respect. Ian says this is fake news, and then someone else says the media is a huge part of this problem. All great comments, all wonderful takes on this story. Obviously, the Daily Mirror is like a British publication trying to frame this up and like defend BLM. BLM is just a bogus left-wing organization. They're like a shell corporation for the Democrats, just used for them to race bait, to push political problems, and also just cause chaos. And in addition, fundraise too. BLM raises a lot of money for the liberals and Democrats, and none of it actually gets back to the black community. And in addition, the BLM protesters, they don't actually care about black people. They're not actually trying to save them or help them or confront the real problems, like all the people that got killed in Chicago on Father's Day weekend. They don't care about any of that. They just want to race bait and find these little minor cases as a way to kind of push their agenda. Next, let's get to the real good stuff on the real article. this is the famous picture of them looking pretty badass, like definitely a boomer couple, but definitely killing it and just like, oh my God, this is the picture of the week. This is like an epic picture. I think people are going to remember this for a good long time. This is the meme. It's been memed and edited and put onto posters and stuff already, I'm sure, t-shirts maybe. But basically, this is the St. Louis couple. They're defending their mansion. They've worked really hard. They've earned their life where they are. They have a great place to live. They seem to be happy and healthy. I mean, they don't look happy here. Obviously they're upset because people are storming their house, but this is just a good example of people getting fed up with this protesters. They're sick of the violence. They're sick of the destruction, and they're sick of people trying to take over and just fight and break and destroy stuff and break the law. And that's why they're using their Second Amendment right. That's the thing that's coming out of this whole situation that I don't think the liberals realize, that everyone is going to want the Second Amendment now. Like, the right to bear arms is never more important than ever. Like, everyone should be thinking about self-defense, like especially with what's going on. I mean, not only are the liberals causing this, like they're making it worse, like they're doing these protests, they're destroying stuff, they're causing chaos and violence, and then in turn, they're also trying to defund the police and remove the cops, like the only people that can protect us. Like, they're the ones that are supposed to kind of handle the weapons and the defense. But if they're gone, I mean, what else are we to do? Like, what else is these couples supposed to do? You have to take matters into your own hands. This article says, "We were in fear of our lives. Central West End couple seen pointing guns at protesters speaks." So this is going to be, I think, a more fuller story. We're going to get some more information. This is KMOV. This is a local St. Louis website and news organization. It says, hundreds of protesters chanted and marched to St. Louis Mayor Linda Crewson's home Sunday night calling for her resignation. A group of 300 protesters chanting, "Resign, Lida, take the cops with you," marched after Crewson read the names and addresses of demonstrators calling for police reform during a Friday afternoon Facebook Live video. Now, this is a rather controversial story. The mayor actually overstepped a bit and got into trouble for like listing all the names of people that didn't want the police. It was actually a pretty big troll move if you think about it, because they're just calling out the people. And it seems like the mayor is actually trying to support the cops and support law and order there, which is a little bit surprising because this is a very liberal area. This is a very liberal dominated, like Democrat run, corrupt area. So there is a good sign there, but then the protesters come for her house, and that's why they're in this very rich neighborhood. And this couple that's the meme now, this power couple, like they're not really involved. Like they just happen to be in the neighborhood, and these protesters seem to be coming by. As far as I know, they're just like innocent bystanders basically, but they do have a right to kind of be alerted. I'd be worried. I would be too. Like if this was happening and going down my street, I would be ready to defend myself as well. Like who knows? There's 300 people. It only takes one or two of them to throw something at the house or try and open the door or something like that. I don't think it got to that point, but that's because they were ready to defend themselves. During the protest, a couple at a nearby home stepped outside with guns at 7:30 p.m. Images showed 61-year-old Patricia McCloskey pointing a handgun at the crowd, and her husband, 63-year-old Mark McCloskey, was seen holding a rifle. The pair are personal injury lawyers who work together at McCloskey Law Center. The images were shared thousands of times on social media Sunday night. Some people are supporting them for protecting their property, and others are strongly criticizing them. Here's the gate that they broke down, by the way. This is the gate that gets into the Portland place. That's where their home is, and this is just exactly, they're not just walking around willy-nilly. They're not peaceful. This is people meaning harm, meaning to do something wrong. They're already breaking laws. Who knows how far it'll go? We've seen it time and time again get far worse than this. This is actually an optimistic outcome. You think about it like this. This is why people say having weapons and self-defense actually prevents confrontations a lot of times. Sure, sometimes someone gets hurt and sometimes someone gets shot or something, but that's just because they're in a situation, they're committing a crime or doing something wrong. And in this case, you could actually prevent something from happening because that person was armed and then the people kept walking. They're like, yeah, I don't want to go after this armed person. I don't want to die today. So it's a good and bad example of a lot of things. The homeowner reached out to News 4 Monday morning saying he was having dinner with his family outside of his home when the crowd went through wrought iron gates marked with no trespassing and private street signs on Portland Place. A mob of at least 100 smashed through the historic wrought iron gates of Portland Place, destroying them, rushed towards my home where my family was having dinner outside, and put us in fear of our lives, Mark McCloskey said. Video circulated on social media shows protesters walking through the gate. It is unclear when the gate was damaged. In this video, you can see protesters walk right through the gate. It's not destroyed when they walk onto the street. You can hear Mark McCloskey, "Get the hell out of my neighborhood." So there's a little debate on when and how the gate was destroyed. We don't have that on camera apparently, but we do have this video. Let's see what this one looks like. So even though we're not seeing the gate broken, we did just see them walk through a gate. It had a sign on it that says private property. You know, you're not allowed to, just because the door is open doesn't mean you can walk in. You can't just walk into someone's house if the door happens to be unlocked. And this is pretty much their house. I'm not sure if this is exactly their gated area. I'm a little confused on how Portland Place is. It might be their actual home and it has a gate on it, its own gate. And then this is also within a gated community. So there's definitely two different barriers being crossed. And I'm not sure the specifics, like I don't have a layout or a map, but it seems like pretty obvious. And I think the argument that they didn't break the gate is kind of besides the point. The gate was broken later on. I highly doubt anyone not in BLM broke the gate. Like it was obviously one of them, I would say, I would think, you know, that's how the rationale would be, but... There's the house. This is what we're talking about. This is a huge estate.
All right, y'all see he got a gun and shit. And y'all can see. Y'all see on my live feed live, he got his rifle.
So the guy filming it is commenting. It's pretty funny, actually. I found this very interesting because I saw a couple of the protesters filming them. And what I found interesting, really funny, like we've seen this time and time again, I don't get how these people filming it, the protesters, think they're in the right. Like they don't realize the situation at all. They're so biased and corrupted and like just so filled with this kind of basic propaganda that's telling them they are allowed to do this. Like they think because they're BLM and they're in a crowd, they can break the law and do whatever they want. And then they point the camera at these people who are law-abiding citizens defending their home with their Second Amendment right. And they act like they're in the wrong. And that was crazy to me because there was like multiple people in the BLM filming these guys at their house. They're at their home, protecting their own property, well within their rights, and very, very justified too. Like, not only is this legally sound, this is like morally and just common sense. I mean, if people are rushing around, you see 100 people breaking into your gate, it's pretty normal to think, hey, maybe I should grab a weapon in case they come and try and steal something or whatever it is. Maybe they're trying to break the house or something, break down or tear something up. Who knows? These guys are very radical, very out of control, and they're also just not right in the head. Like to think that they would think they're filming the wrong person. And that's just a common SJW thing too. Like they put up these videos themselves and they think they're in the right, but it always just exposes themselves as being terrible and wrong and just like totally out of touch.
Y'all can see he does have a weapon. As y'all can see, this individual does have the rifle.
So they're all yelling at each other. This is already not peaceful, by the way. Like they said, peaceful BLM on the whole, the original article. And a lot of the media and the liberals are trying to attack and go after this people defending their home. And it's mainly because, you know, they want to defend BLM. They want to defend these crazy protesters because they have the right talking points and they're helping further their race baiting and their cause. And then on top of that, obviously, they hate white people. They hate people that support the Second Amendment and have property and a livelihood and are successful lawyers. Like these guys earned it. These guys are really, really accomplished people. And to see that makes them jealous. And that's what's got us to where we are today. Now we're talking and we're pretty much wrapped up and we could see that this meme couple, I mean, they're badass. They deserve proper support and they're also kind of waking people up. Like we said before, a lot of people are talking about them as it's a funny story and it's interesting and they're kind of like cute in that image, both of them holding weapons. And also, it's like a strong, confident story. Like, oh, okay, we can defend ourselves. We see people finally getting fed up and standing up and doing what they think is best for their family. And then on top of that, this is again spreading pro messages for the Second Amendment. Like, more people are arming up every day, and it makes sense when you see these kinds of agitators, these kinds of radicals coming into people's homes, breaking into private property, destroying things, causing a mess, leaving trash behind, filming. There's someone beating a drum, they're yelling at them. Like, that's not peaceful. Like, yelling and screaming and cursing at some guy has nothing to do with anything. That's not a peaceful protest. One last thing before we go, I promised to show you some of that mansion from the inside. This is a jealous hater who says it looks like a villain's mansion, which isn't actually the worst thought. I mean, villains tend to live in really nice places like this. And if you look at it, to me, it looks like amazing. This is like the inside of that house of those rich people. And they had a lot to defend. It makes sense for them to kind of want to defend all this. Look at this. This is like classic stuff. There's a picture of the couple right there. And yeah, it just makes sense. It's like you would want to defend this house too if you lived there. If you were kind of built this up for your whole lives and you saved and did everything right. The place looks spotless. And then we got these agitators coming up and going after them. It just makes sense. And it just shows that there's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of people that they go into these rich neighborhoods now. They're not just in the cities anymore. They're jealous of the rich people and they want to destroy. And they even say, like, a lot of their messages say, eat the rich and stuff like that. Like, that's what socialists want. They want to take away people that have wealth, people that earned and kind of did the right thing. They followed through the process. This couple here, they became lawyers. They went to college. They got their law degrees. They practiced, built their own practice. They did all the right things. And now they're getting held accountable for stuff they didn't even do. Now they're called racist for no reason. And it's just showing the messed up world that we're living in. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Did you enjoy this story? Did you hear about this meme from over the weekend? Was it as fun and interesting as it was for me? Let me know below. Also, hit that like button to help this video get shared. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell for notifications. And also check out our second channel, NoBS News. Extra videos and live streams on that channel every week as well. So until next time, you all have a great day.